Channeling is when a person is able to go into a meditative or trance-like state in order to convey messages from the spirit world. Some people may visit a medium or attend a seance in the hope of being able to communicate with a loved one. In other cases, a message may be relayed to a person in other unusual ways that they had least expected, where they have no scientific explanation for what had happened. The following true story is about a young Australian man with a tragic past that received an unexpected message from his late father, which led to the strangest experience of his life when walking along a quiet beach in Australia with his girlfriend. In the early 1980s, in Melbourne, Australia, a young boy by the name of Colin Brooks had a personal tragedy when his father tragically took his own life in their family car in the garage of their home. Colin never fully recovered from the horrific event, and a few years later, Colin decided to move as far away from Melbourne as possible and moved to the far north of Queensland near Cairns, where he managed to start a new life and become part of the local community, in the hope of leaving his tragic past back in Melbourne. His life would again be changed one night whilst walking along the beach with his girlfriend on Magnetic Island, just off the coast of Townsville in northern Queensland. Colin appeared to be in a cheerful mood as he strolled along the beach with his girlfriend, but deep in his thoughts, he was unable to shake off the terrible images of his father, along with his tragic ending that continued to haunt him, even though it was many years since his father had taken his own life. Then suddenly in the distance, they could see the glow of a campfire, and as they drew closer, they came upon a group of people sitting in a circle around a fire. They'd never met these people before, which was not unusual because North Queensland was a tourist hub with many people visiting. As they approached the group of strangers around the campfire, Colin had no idea that a most extraordinary event of his life was about to happen. As he drew closer to the people, there appeared to be an eerie silence, and the only sound that could be heard was the crackling of the fire and the crashing of the waves nearby. The strangest thing was that as he was observing the people around the fire, images of his father's last moments sitting in his car in the family garage was replaying in his mind. As they approached the group of people, the first sign came that something strange was about to happen, when a man in the group looked up and said, "Hello Colin, we've been expecting you." The couple looked at each other in complete bemusement, and Colin said, "How do these people know my name? I've never met them before." It was as if they were waiting specifically for him to arrive. Suddenly, a woman in the group said to Colin, "Remember son, always take responsibility for your own life." He did not know it at the moment, but Colin was to hear the most intimate thoughts and details of his late father that would come from the mouth of one of the women in the circle, when she said, "Your mother and I may have grown apart over the years, but I've always loved her too." Then her voice changed, and her face also appeared to change, and she said, "Sometimes life gets a bit too much, and you can't cope, so I hope you don't hate me for that. I've made mistakes." She then spoke in detail of his childhood, which was a childhood he had never revealed to anyone. Only his parents could have known the exact details of what was being said. She then said that, "I want you to understand what happened, and I love you very much, and you must move on with your life. Do it for me and for yourself." And she used phrases exactly as his father used to. Colin explained that his father always called him a whinger as a child, and the woman had used the same comments, such as "stop whinging and get on with your life." The woman then apologised and spoke of love, and said, "I've always loved you, but I didn't always show it, but I've always loved you and always will. I want you to tell Mum and the rest of the family that I'm sorry, and I love you all very much. It's now up to you to look after the family." His father's parting words were, "You may never hear from me again, but I will always be there for you." Before that moment, Colin Brooks claimed he was a total skeptic, but could not understand how one night came upon strangers on the beach who managed to convey messages from a father that had died many years before, and claimed that he had never come upon anything that was so real for him. So who were the people sitting around the fire on the beach, and where did they come from? Were they aware of what was happening, or were they somehow all in a trance-like state, unaware of what was happening to them, as they imparted messages from his father?